Here I am at the Dripping Springs Natural Area near Las Cruces, New Mexico, at the Arroyo Trailhead, obviously, as you can see. Just a few words about this place. It's part of the Organ Mountain Desert Peaks National Monument, which was established recently, mostly through grassroots activism. This particular lot is the picnic area lot. There's a large picnic area that's available by reservation. There are restrooms here. So it is suitable for people who might be planning to stay for a good part of the day. However, there is no overnight parking allowed, so campers would want to use the nearby Sierra Vista Trailhead parking area. There is a $5 fee per vehicle to park here, unless you have spent extra for a annual pass or if you have a lifetime pass. One nice thing about the Arroyo Trail, especially on a day like today where it's expected to get to be 95 degrees, is there is some shade, and so it's relatively cool. You also get to see a fair amount of greenery, much more lush, much denser than what you typically find in this part of New Mexico, especially this time of year. Here you get to see some Apache Plume. It's got nice white flowers. We are in the middle of a historic drought, so we're not going to see a lot of blossoming, unfortunately. If I manage to get up to some higher elevations, we may see some. In front of me here you can see what I'm talking about with the acacia. That's called cat's claw acacia. There's some pretty nasty thorns on it. When they catch you, you can go forward, so you have to back up to unhook from those. When you get close, these cameras are not very good for macro, but hopefully you can at least get the idea of the shape of the cat's claw. Okay, I've gone a little farther and I'm seeing some pretty luxuriant Apache Plume here. So you'll be able to get a better sense of what that looks like. The light being the way it is, you can't really capture the subtlety of the color, which is unfortunate. Perhaps I'll include a still photo taken earlier, illustrate for those who are curious. I don't know if this wooden bridge here was, or arch rather, is there naturally, or if that's something that the park rangers added to spice up this trail. Certainly gives it a quaint look though. Today I'll be going down toward the Fillmore Canyon area, which is obviously left to my left. La Cueva Trail to the right, which obviously goes to the cave, which is in this rock formation I'm panning across now. This area geologically was formed by a series of 3 volcanic eruptions tens of millions of years ago. There are different layers of rock that are distinguishable. They've been studied extensively. It's actually a fault line, which is obviously inactive. runs from here basically towards the Fort Bliss military base by El Paso. I'm walking along the Fillmore Canyon trail just past the branch point for the La Cueva Trail. And the reason I'm making this little segment is to show you this. Off to the right is a pretty good trail, but it's unmarked and it's not on the official trail map. It skirts along the north edge of the La Cueva Formation, and it's definitely worth going down. Organ Mountains are actually the edge of a caldera formed by a much earlier volcanic eruption. This is a typical basin and range geography here, with Las Cruces and White Sands being in respective basins separated by the Organ Mountain range and the related ranges, which are the San Andreas to the north, the Franklin Mountains to the south. A nice videography technique is parallax motion, so you see that rock formation in the foreground moving and appearing to move at a different rate of speed than the Organ Mountains in the background. It gives a little bit more visual interest to the video. So anytime you have the opportunity to include that, please do. It's kind of fun. That plant in front of me is a sotol, Dazzlerian wheeleri. Sometimes mistaken for a yucca, but it's actually a different genus. Obviously related. They send up a stalk. Unlike the yucca, it doesn't have a showy flower stalk. Rather, it has what I take to be catkins. Even so, this is a great landscape plant if you're interested in xeriscaping, and you can find it growing naturally all around the Las Cruces area, and indeed throughout the Chihuahuan Desert. This is the north side of the La Cueva Formation. You might be able to discern slightly different colors. The rocks in the foreground are more gray, the rocks in the background are more reddish. That signifies that those layers were formed by different volcanic eruptions. There's a pamphlet in the visitor center that outlines the details, such as the approximate ages of those eruptions and in what order they occurred and which formations were caused by which eruptions. Up here, roughly in the center of the video, you can see a fairly impressive spike. That is a yucca. I'm going to mangle the name. It's Yucca faxoniana, colloquially known as Torrey's yucca. Previously, the binomial name was Yucca torreyi, named after the prolific botanical explorer in this area in much earlier times, I think the 1800s. It does have a little bit of a flower spike. I don't know that I can get high enough to really enable you to make it out clearly. That's Yucca faxoniana. The part of the Organ Mountains directly ahead of me, the part that gives the mountain range the name, said to resemble church organ pipes. That part was formed by a magma intrusion, meaning that as part of the eruption, magma and shoot it into overlying rock. The part of the mountain range to the south was a magma extrusion, meaning the magma erupted up into the air. So the rocks are rather different in those two different parts of the mountain range. There's an old dead tree. I've been going along the trail that goes behind La Cueva, and so far I've gone 1.11 mile, starting from the Arroyo Trailhead. This is a trail junction. You can see a historic marker there referring to the mining history in this area. Trail marker showing that the La Cueva picnic area is off to the right, Crawford Trail is off to the left. And so let's take a look at that. Can't see much of it. I mentioned the Crawford Trail because it doesn't get a lot of love. There's not much foot traffic there. It doesn't have the feature destination type places that attract a lot of visitors. It doesn't have a cave, there's no waterfall. Rather, it goes parallel to the mountain range, roughly from the southeast to the northwest. But you get a great panoramic view of the mountain. And here you can see some hikers. It's a family, it looks like, coming down the Fillmore Canyon trail. They probably visited where the waterfall is.